Dude.
Like a purple, man.
Yeah, well, in honor of today's um, episode 24, the Mamba episode, we're gonna be talking about Kobe Bryant and our favorite Kobe Bryant memories, and all the amazing things that this man has done throughout his career. So I figured I'd rock out the purple gear. Yeah, you like that?
That
Stitches,
sharp looking
Stitches
heck.
by Walters.
Oh, saw the back of the hat is purple now too when you look down. Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's good old Stitches by Walters over in Fort Myers. Get all your embroidery needs. Um, so a lot of fun last week talking about all those goats. Um, that was that was a fun episode. I think it was a cool like little change of pace. Um, but one that wasn't on there, Kobe Bryant. Um, which I do still think he is one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Mhm.
And especially, I was just going through like looking at all of his statistics. I mean, just to name a few off the bat, I mean, 5-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA Finals MVP, 18-time All-Star. Like
18 times.
that's
That's something.
that's
That's
pretty
longevity.
that's pretty impressive. So, talk to me. When was your first like what like because he had a long career, 1996. So that means you would have been what like 4 years old when he got into the league.
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
So talk to me.
And
When's like the first memory that you have of like watching Kobe?
oh man, I don't know exactly how old I was, but well, I guess it would have been a few years, but that string of finals runs and Western Conference finals runs that Kobe and Shaq made, and they were just going up against, yeah, Duncan and David Robinson, Parker and Ginobili and the Spurs. And man, just Kobe and Shaq dominating every series the whole way. And just those two together, just it really seemed like they were an unstoppable tandem.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to see what years that would have been. That would have been like what, like the oh, like 2000 to like 2006. That was a long time. I feel like it was
Yeah.
like I definitely feel like it was a bunch of times in a row that I mean that's why I think he became so like in your face was because he was go like you said it was like going to the Western Conference Final. I felt like every year we were like you said you were seeing like Spurs Lakers and one of them
Yeah.
were going to the finals.
And yeah, I think my favorite all time Kobe story though wasn't even really from him, was a story that his wife told about whenever she'd ask him why he goes out there and plays hurt or plays injured, why doesn't he ever just take a night off? And he said that he's thinking about the little kid that family saved up for tickets to go one time to be able to see him play. It's sitting up in the nosebleeds, and he doesn't want to sit out that one game if there's any way possible he can play, because that little kid or that family may never get a chance to see him play again. And just goes to show you a little bit of as much of an in your face player he was, and as tenacious as he was, he still was humble, had a big heart, cared about people, and just aside from just being a great athlete, just a good person.
Yeah, I think we talked about kind of like that last week, which was like players that have had impacts like beyond, you know, beyond the game of basketball. So not just um like just not being in the basketball arena, but like what do you do afterwards? And I know the impact that he made on athletes and again, I know like Mike, everyone wants to be like Mike, but there was a while there where like Kobe was the man, and you want. I mean, the fact that
Nobody was shooting nobody shot their paper in the trash can and said Jordan.
I was just about to say that, right? Like I still to this day, every time I'm shooting something, and it could be, yeah, a piece of paper in the trash, or I'm throwing my golf ball, or whatever it is. Kobe, like still, even when I go play basketball, the first shot I put up, Kobe, like it's just you do it, and yeah, I think the impact that he's made. Um, Again, it's the fact that he's here, uh, however many, couple. He's let's see, died in 2020. The fact that we're 3 years still, even after his death, and um, his impact still going on, his legacy, and I think all the players in the NBA really have rallied around his family, and it just goes to show how good of a person he was. I think probably one of the saddest moments was like Paul Gasol in the retiring of the jerseys. Like that was like definitely like a that one just made your heart wrench, man.
It, it just sucks. Always sucks losing anybody early, but someone that still feels like that they had that much more. They had so much more to offer to the world and to offer to the community. And I just see Kobe being like all in, helping people out after you're retired. He was just getting that way. He just wanted to watch his daughters play basketball, grow up, be a good dad, and just be be a good person. And
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the fact so I mean, two numbers retired, not just
that's
one.
impressive.
That's pretty. I mean, the fact that you were so good that you had two numbers retired. And again, I remembered him for a while with eight, but it was like once he took on that number 24, like that was the one where I was like, okay, he became the Black Mamba.
Went from the little mini fro to the fade. It seemed like that transition was almost at the same time where he switched numbers and haircuts. Just completely changed who he was and his persona and the way he looked at things. But man, another fun Kobe story. I remember J.R. Smith was talking about his coming to the league moment, like waking up, like, oh crap, like I'm in the NBA. And it was his rookie year. If I remember correctly, it was George Karl was the coach in Denver. But he's talking about they kept nobody was backing him down. He wouldn't let anybody back him down in practice, like all preseason or whatever. And then first game goes out there, and coach telling him before the game, pregame, don't let Kobe back you down. Don't let him back you down. Right before he gets ready to enter the game for the first time, coach says to him, "Don't let him back you down. You let him back you down, I'm going to pull you out of the fucking game." And literally, first possession, Kobe gets the ball, backs him down, does the little hesitation, shoulder pump fake, gets him up in the air, leans into him, and one. Coach pulled him right out of the game. Don't go sit on the bench. He's just like, man, what do I do? This is
You
Kobe
had
Bryant.
you
Like,
had one rule. Do
yeah,
not let him back you. One job. Do not let him back you down. Yeah, it's funny you said that like little like that hezzy like spin around jumper, and it's funny you like watch a lot of like the film on Kobe and see like the the same moves that Michael had, like
yep.
the similarities between the two. Don't like I saw that one video where it's like both of them were like doing the same move, or like Michael would do them, and like it's just again the guy was such an athlete, student of the game, um, and the stuff that he did on the court was just crazy. So let's see, Kobe Bryant, 13th overall pick. Fun fact: Do you know the
You know what?
team? Do you know the team who picked him?
Shoot. Is it Charlotte or New Orleans?
Charlotte Hornets
Yeah.
picked Charlotte Hornets in the first round, pick 13 in 96, and then traded to the Lakers his rookie season. So talk about like
An epic failure. Like,
one of the worst trades. Um, I don't even, it doesn't even say like what he got, what Charlotte got in return. Um, won the
whatever
night.
it was,
Yeah,
it wasn't enough.
I'm gonna look this up. What did Kobe trade? Oh my gosh. In exchange for center Vlade Divac.
Nice.
Immediately traded him to the Lakers.
Man. Vladian, no, he never ended up working with the Lakers. He worked with Sacramento right away once he quit playing, didn't he?
Looking that up too.
It's almost questioning if they're how much they're. I mean, those teams played each other so many times in the playoffs over the years.
Play with he did play with so he was with the Lakers in 2004 to 2005.
Okay, yeah.
So
So,
he went Charlotte, then to the Kings, and then to the Lakers. He finished as a Laker. So they got him back just in time.
yeah.
And that
They
would have
win
been
it all that year.
around the same time, 2000 to 2004. That must have been around the same time Shaq left too. So now we're just going down the rabbit hole, which I
That's what it's all
love.
about.
I love it. He won 2000, 2002, then 2009. So they didn't win a championship
Yep.
together. 2010 was the last one he won.
Okay.
One in 09, one in 2010. Um, Slam dunk contest champion. That was big, especially back then.
Yeah,
Um,
back when actually people that cared about it,
yeah, like I
we
know,
didn't
like
have league players.
when did Vince Carter win? Vince Carter,
And
because I
that
feel like that changed the game. And once, so 2000,
insanity, putting his elbow through the rim.
I feel like he broke the slam dunk contest. I feel
Yeah.
like that.
How did you top that?
I feel
Like
like it was the best performance, and he broke it because everyone's like, "You just did the
yeah,
most impossible things. How are we supposed to beat that?" Um, so the fact that he wins 1997 slam dunk contest, that's pretty impressive. He also is coming in 96 at the same time that Michael Jordan is just
dominate.
completely dominating, completely dominating. Um,
Had I mean, it's not like the West was a slouch back then either. He was going up against the Stockton Malone Jazz. Uh, there were a lot of tough teams back then, but yeah,
and it only took him, 4 seasons to get his first championship.
yeah,
Ended up winning in 2000, and then just won on a tear, three in a row. You know,
yeah. Three
uh,
P easy.
only one NBA MVP, 2008.
That's surprising.
That is very surprising, isn't it? I wonder how many MJ MVPs. 5 times. NBA. I'm saying who has the most MVPs in the NBA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has it 6 times.
It's only one more than Jordan.
Larry Bird had it 3 times in a row. Even Steph Curry has 2. That's crazy. That's a crazy stat. I would have definitely thought
Yep.
that that would have been more. Just 2008.
Hmm. Man.
But
Yeah,
he
there's
has like he's a 4-time All-Star Game MVP, 2-time NBA Finals MVP. So these are also
I
here we
choose
go.
between I get to choose between being a regular season MVP and a finals MVP. I'm taking the finals MVP 7 days a week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah. And then I mean, he was still 11-time NBA All First Team. 9 times he won All Defensive First Team. Scoring champion 2 times. Um, Player of the Year in '96. Um, yeah. So I mean, he got. I mean, his accolades are. I mean, literally a whole paragraph. It's just surprising that only one just regular MVP. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and then I mean, my favorite performance was him dropping 81 against the Toronto Raptors. That was just like
It, it's
every
just
every every time I went on the court after that, I was just like, I can be like, I'm just gonna try to be like Kobe. I'm just gonna try to score as many points as I can. I mean, unreal. Could you imagine being in the arena that night just to,
oh, that would have been so awesome. Such a surreal experience to I mean, it was basically a private shoot around with Kobe Bryant.
yeah, I mean,
Had a few rebounders out there, a few guys to pass him the ball. It was just every. I mean, the whole team was in on it though. They're all just like, let him get him up. He's hot. When you're shooting like that and you're that type of player, you just don't stop.
um, so his 18 All-Star designations are the second most of all time. And he played 20 seasons, so he just didn't make it 2 times.
LeBron, LeBron, the one that's ahead of him on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's 03 to now. Has LeBron ever missed an All Star game?
No. Yeah, so
Or-
LeBron has 19, Kareem had 19 too.
Okay.
The other time. Um Also pretty impressive that his championship runs, so this I don't again, you don't like really realize it, but um he had a three-peat and then a two-peat. So that's pretty impressive too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Philly born. Um yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I guess like when you look at the accolades and stuff, right? Like where do you put Kobe on like your list of players? Like of like all-time greats?
Just basketball or like
Yeah,
any sport?
yeah, basketball, yeah. Like where is he on your list?
Got to be in the top 10.
I agree with that, but I think I would
I think he's somewhere in that probably 4 to 6, 5 to 7 range.
yeah, I would have to I mean we were both kind of agreeing last week and especially like he was even AI even proved it. I definitely think Jordan's one.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people argue that LeBron is two. Um, but you have guys like Will and Magic and Larry Bird that are up there. But again, I still think like well, and then you can even say like guys like Shaq, right? Like, I mean, Shaq was such a dominant human being in the NBA. But like, do you think that like Shaq is higher than Kobe?
No, but the same thing like Kobe and Shaq have both said before. If Shaq cared as much and worked as hard as Kobe, he would be the greatest athlete of all time.
Dude, that man was a physical specimen,
It was insane. We were actually talking about it at work today. One guy compared Jokic in a way. He's like, man, the only other guy that's that big that I can ever remember grabbing a rebound and just taking the ball coast to coast was a young Shaq.
right?
Like, man, think about it. Who's going to want to get in his way?
No,
You got a
nobody.
23-year-old Shaq sprinting down court, coming right at you, and I'm gonna Olay that and take a swipe at the ball and hope that he don't run into me.
Yeah, no, you definitely no. That's because like that's death if you get in the way of that. I mean, the amount of backboards that that man broke. So that was just such a fun I think that's when I fell in love with Kobe too. Was just that tandem of like Shaq and I mean, I think he's looking all right, most unstoppable. Like it wasn't even like a big three. They were just the big two. You know,
Yeah,
like I think big threes started coming into light once teams started realizing that they like the big two weren't getting beat. You know, like
yeah.
they're like, we have to have a third player because one's gonna take on Shaq, one's gonna take on Kobe. There's really no one that can outscore, outplay either one of them. So we need to have a third that hopefully the Lakers can't take on.
The first big three that I really remember coming together was the Celtics.
Yep. Was
Garnett,
Garnett.
Allen, and Pierce.
Yeah, that's the one. When was their span?
That was because they got tired. I think we beat them. The Cavs knocked them out of the playoffs like 2 years in a row before that. And LeBron had no help at that time. Those Cavs teams back then were pretty bad. But he still kept finding a way to get us to the Eastern Conference Finals. Took us to the finals, get swept by the Spurs, but still got us there with a lineup that had Ira Newell, Eric Snow, Sasha Pavlovich. Like Booby was the only one that had a big game at any point and did anything. Booby Gibson hitting all those threes up in Detroit, but that's another team that I think doesn't get talked about quite enough. Was that early 2000s Pistons team that
Oh
he took
yeah,
having Chauncey, Tayshawn or Chauncey, Rip, Tayshawn, Rashid, and Big Ben. Like that's got to be one of the deepest starting fives ever to be put together.
Rip. Yeah, that was those
They
guys
won.
were.
They went in 03.
Um,
Was it
yeah,
the year
let's.
before? It might have been the year before. They had somehow had the second pick in the draft and blew it by taking Darko Milicic instead of Carmelo Anthony or Chris Bosh or Dwayne Wade. That 03 draft class is just insane. There's so much talent in it.
Um, they only have three: 89, 90, and 2004.
Oh, four. Okay. So it was the year after. Yeah.
But how many? That's another question. How many finals have they been in?
Trying to think. Feels like Bad Boys won a few times.
But they didn't. They only run once.
They only went once.
So they've been in it six times. So not so 88, 89, 90, 2004, 2005.
Yeah. So I was gonna say I thought that they went a few times in the late '80s, just didn't win it.
Nope. Only Yeah, well, twice. They went twice, 88, 89. Well, that's why 88, 89, 90. So they went pretty much three times in a row.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was a crazy good run. So the fact that Kobe comes in during all that going on and was kind of just like the passing of the torch and then just went on just like a little tear of his own and just I think just blew up. Plus, I think it takes into like the fact that he was out of high school
Hmm.
too. I mean, I think that that's I don't not very many people had done that. Um,
Not done
and
successfully.
no, and I think even since him, I think really the only guy that's really done it has been LeBron. Um, I don't think anyone has successfully done it since Kobe and LeBron. Um, to the point where,
How
yeah,
LaMelo at this point,
well, LaMelo technically went and played like a year overseas.
but wasn't that supposed to be his senior year in high school? I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be his senior year. It's just irrelevant topic here, just going off on it.
No, I think it was.
I thought he did the Bryce Harper where he left high school a year early to go play so he could
No,
get
I
drafted.
think it was something with his. He had already made money and he couldn't go to college and play. Like he had already made, I think, money playing professional basketball.
Hmm.
And so he couldn't go to college. So he just went one more year overseas and then ended the draft. Which I mean, I don't know. He's still young. We'll still see how his career
Uh,
unfolds. I think he's pretty good, but I mean, he's got some big shoes that if he wants to
yeah,
fill in Kobe.
I wasn't trying to put him in a Kobe, LeBron, KG conversation. Those are the three guys that stick out in my head that made the jump and were just super
Success
uber
and
successful.
yeah, and successful. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. I
Yeah,
mean, you're
there's
not
there's
you're
some guys in that next tier that have been all right, like role players, made a good career out of it, but just goes to show you, and you could be the best around in high school, but there's a whole big different level between going straight from high school to the pros, or maybe going to college. Most people, when they're 18 years old, aren't a full grown man yet.
right, exactly. And um you're playing against, 24, 25-year olds that
Yeah.
uh
Which I mean, I guess this year, if you're playing against Howard University, Seth Towns is going to be 26 years old playing his eighth year of college basketball somehow, thanks to COVID and red shirts. But
that's like Stetson Bennett over at Georgia.
yeah,
He's older than majority of the rookie QBs going into the league
but
or just veteran QBs too.
the good thing is, if this doesn't work out for him, he'll be able to collect Social Security in the next couple of years. So
Yeah,
he's going to have some income always.
he'll be super old. Um, well, any other Kobe stories?
Yeah, no other Kobe's, but I think we should give a quick shout out to some other honorable mention number 24s.
Okay.
I think my personal favorite, the guy that epitomized swag in baseball in the late 90s and early 2000s, Ken Griffey Jr. The
Dude,
backwards hat, the little jiggle
he
on the swing, and just the way he launched that bat through the zone.
I wanted to be Ken Griffey when I played baseball. That was my like biggest role model, especially since I was a Reds fan. Like that was just like I wanted to be Ken Griffey Jr. He was my favorite baseball player growing up. What an absolute yeah, he just made baseball look cool, didn't he?
Oh, it just always seemed so effortless to him.
Yeah,
The way he swung the bat, like it just seemed like it was nothing, and he's just smacked the ball. It looked so perfect. Like God, it's just like a textbook, like a video of and like AI driven. This is what a perfect swing is supposed to look like, and it was him.
just effortless. Um, yeah. Uh, my 24. This one's gonna be a crazy one. Another honorable mention 24. The Rainbow Warrior, Jeff Gordon, baby.
Oh heck yeah, a little NASCAR action there.
Dude,
I
that number 24 car, baby. That was my grandma, she loved NASCAR and she loved Dale Earnhardt. And so we watched a lot of NASCAR and like I just loved the color scheme. I just loved everything about it. But yeah, Jeff Gordon, man, he was fun to watch, dude.
That's funny. Gordon was big. We had a lot of Sundays spent watching NASCAR in my family too at my grandparents' house. Gordon was one of the family favorites. In home ec class in eighth grade when we had to make an apron, I made my mom a Jeff Gordon printed apron. So
And
yeah,
like you just
I like
knew,
that.
yeah, like that color scheme, right? That rainbow color scheme. And like you know people who have that jacket still to this day. And like
Oh, for
there's
sure.
people that wear that jacket and have no idea what it even means. They
It
just
just
wear it
looks
because
cool.
it looks cool, right? So the swaggiest NASCAR man, Jeff Gordon, number 24. All right,
All right.
any other big 24 ones?
Hey, I'll give two other quick mentions. What best base stealer of all time? Ricky Henderson. All right, we're gonna go with three. Willie Mays, one of the greatest baseball players of all time,
Okay,
and my
okay.
little brother's favorite, and one of my favorite baseball players, Man Ram, Manny Ramirez,
Oh, dude.
the
And
dude that made sweatpants on a baseball field a thing. I remember towards the end of his career there, that dude's pants were freaking massive. I mean, he wasn't running, he didn't care. He's just up there trying to be comfortable and just rake baseballs. That's all Manny did was hit.
I didn't even think about him. That was
There
I
was a saying made after him that was pretty common there for a while, just Manny being Manny.
yeah, it's
I
just
can
Manny being
remember on
Manny.
baseball teams, coaches turning that into, you always had that one player on the team that it's like, man, he's just going to do dumb stuff. And it's just Manny being Manny.
Just Manny being Manny. Dude, you got me thinking now though. Another man who wore number 24, Barry Bonds.
I forgot about Barry.
Me too, but another legend.
Yeah. Guy that should have had a game winning, Super Bowl winning touchdown rush if Pete Carroll knew how to coach football. Beast mode.
Marshawn Lynch.
One of the greatest clips of all time. Him stealing the cart at Cal after the game and just
Dude,
cruising around the field, just whipping,
that man,
driving all over
that man did not give a shit about anything or
at,
anyone
at any point.
at all. At all. That dude did what he wanted. I think that's what I loved
What
about
makes you
him.
love him? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He was
just
just
100% authentic. He is who he is.
dude, that's hilarious. I forgot about him. Um, I'm not seeing any other like big name. Oh, Champ Bailey, Darrell Revis.
Yep, Revis Island.
Yeah, that was, I mean, lockdown corners.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few years there when Revis was in his prime. He just didn't throw the ball to his side of the field.
Yeah, no, you couldn't
Just don't even whoever he's guarding, just
go.
take him out of the playbook completely. Do not call a play for him. It's not going to go well.
Yeah, gotta go, go the other way. Um, all right. Well, hey, that is our list of 24s. I mean, those are some pretty solid athletes there, man. And the best 24 to ever do it, definitely Kobe Bryant, RIP, the Black Mamba. Yeah, taken way too soon. Was again some of my best memories was watch because yeah, like you said, it's always those West Coast games that are playing late. So you're watching them like, can I stay up? Because you knew you wanted to watch them going in late because you knew you wanted to be able to talk about the next day at school. Like you didn't
Yeah.
want to like not because everyone was talking about them.
Yeah, you couldn't look up highlights like when you
No,
wake up in the morning like you can nowadays. You had to hope that you caught Sports Center top 10 plays or caught the highlights for the game that you wanted to watch before the bus came in the morning.
yeah,
If not, you just had to listen.
you had to listen and you couldn't add anything to it because you
Yeah,
weren't there.
oh, I
You didn't
didn't.
listen.
Yeah, I didn't.
The amount of time that I stayed up, and then again, every time I play like NBA Live or NBA 2K, like always was playing with Kobe. like always. Like I feel like he was a cheat code, and I feel like there were some games where you had to like say like, "Hey, you can't play with the Lakers."
Yeah. Oh man, prime Kobe and Shaq together. It was not. I mean, you just couldn't beat that.
Yeah, you're like, "No, you can't play with the Lakers. It's unfair." Like you
Yeah.
had to,
It, like the Heat there towards the end of their run.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, no, you can't play with the Heat on 2K.
No,
No,
no, that's
not
not
allowed.
fair.
Not allowed.
Like
All right,
too random
everyone.
to
Yeah,
jump
right.
out.
Yeah, you gotta be random teams. And if that was one of your random picks, you got to draw again.
Yeah.
Um, all right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the support. Keep an eye out for our future episodes. Give us a follow on all of our socials. So we're on TikTok at Recliner Sports Report, Facebook Recliner Sports Report, Instagram Recliner Sports Report, and Twitter at Recliner_report. Give us a follow on all of our social media channels for all of our free daily bets and all of our picks and your sports news. Thanks again. This is Mac and Robbie, and we're here telling you to keep the change.